All right, let's do this. Let's get started. Oh boy, this is going to be fun. I think it's going to be fun. Who knows? Thank you for being here. I know some of you are just dialing in as we speak, but we have a lot to cover, and everybody's busy on this planet doing stuff. So we don't want to waste a minute. I'm Jay Schwedelson. I appreciate you signing up for this. This is so much new information. Um, it's a little difficult for me because sometimes, my team, we put together all this data and we throw it in a deck and we want to get it out there as fast as possible. And I've never spoken the words out loud before. So who knows what it is I'm about to say, but that's okay. And so for those of you who've attended webinars I've done in the past, thanks for coming back. For those of you who haven't, I talk pretty quick, but that's a good thing. So maybe you won't fall asleep, you might. And at the end, I'll be happy to, you could email me, I'll send you the slides so you don't have to worry about taking too many notes. And let's do this. Let's get going here. I'm going to try to get going here. Okay. So who am I real quick? And this is not why you signed up. Again, I'm Jay Schwedelson. I'm the CEO of a company called World Data. World Data is about a 100-person company based in South Florida. We've been around for almost 45 years, and we focus on a few different things. We work with both B2B and B2C marketers. Most of our clients are mid-market and enterprise size clients, and we help them run demand gen programs in all the different direct response channels, email, direct mail, all sorts of stuff, acquisition programs, cost per lead programs, cost per thousand programs. We also own and operate our own data centers and service bureaus. We do a lot of data hygiene, data improvement, and we also do a lot of email best practice support. And so if any of those things are interesting to you, I'd love to talk to you about that. I'm also the founder of a website called subjectline.com, which has gone on to be one of the most trafficked marketing websites in the world, where you can go on there and check your subject line. So that's pretty cool. And the reason that I do these sessions is we have a research division in-house because we execute on about 40,000 campaigns annually. And across the 8 different ESPs that we work with, Marketo and HubSpot and Eloqua and MailChimp and you name it, we execute about 6 billion emails sent, both B2B and B2C. And we take that data, we bring it together, and we have all these cool stats. So that's me, that's who you're listening to for a little while here. And now let's jump into why you're really here. Okay, so this is up to the minute stuff, right? I don't like when you go to a webinar and they're showing you slides from a year ago, 2 years ago. It's like who cares, right? A year ago, the planet was very different. 6 months ago, right, the planet was very different. 3 months ago, the planet was very different. So we need information for right now. What's really interesting is I did a best practice webinar about, I want to say 45 days ago. And 45 days ago, really the vaccine stuff hadn't really been out there as much yet. And we were still in this kind of mindset of pandemic, not doing much, and that's where we're at. And this is not a political thing. I'm not saying you should be doing more. I'm not saying you should be out there more. I'm just telling you about the mindset of the country. And because we were all still really in that mindset of pandemic, end of the world, we were still checking our email a lot. We were in our inbox a lot, both B2B and B2C, right? So we got Steve Harvey over here dancing because the last 12 months for email marketers, open rates have been through the roof, right? You could almost not screw up. But unfortunately, things have changed. In the last 2 weeks, open rates have fallen off a cliff. B2B, B2C, almost every category fallen off a cliff, gone lower. So when you go into that marketing meeting, right, and everyone's like, we're doing something wrong, right? We stink. We stink because now our email campaigns are not performing the way they were just 60 days ago. And you're looking at, oh my God, our ESP, is it getting delivered? Are we going in the junk folder? Do we have horrible offers? Is our copywriter an idiot? None of those things are the case. Okay, what's gone on is everyone's like, oh my God, I can leave my house again. Might go eat outside at a restaurant. I don't need to just be staring at my computer all day, and we see it in the numbers. So these are the orange line here. And by the way, my slides are horrifically ugly. I get the Ugly Hall of Fame slides, and I don't care. People make fun of me. I get emails. I don't care. Ugly. Great. Who cares? Okay. So the orange line here is the average open rates. And when I say average open rates, you're gonna be like, oh, my open rates are high or my open rates are lower. This is called an average. So it's very important to understand it's really directional, and that's how you should view it. But the average open rates, let's look at B2C first, the orange guys. Back in January of last year, before the pandemic hit, we're like at 17%. B2B was like at 14%. Then the pandemic hits, March, April, like, holy cow, we are staring at our computer, right? We are online, kids are online doing schoolwork, we're online, we're working remotely from home, we have nothing else to do, we're watching Tiger King, this was our life back in March and April, right? Pandemic's horrible now in the summer. It's starting to get a little bit better. So the open rates are starting to go down. Okay, is this thing under control? That's what we thought in the summer. And then we realize and we see it. It's almost the exact same thing as the spikes in the virus. You see the open rates start to spike again back in September, October, because that's when we saw whatever it was, the third surge, the third wave. I have no idea what it's called, whatever. And then in December, of course, it peaks because of the holiday season, even though B2B is lower. And we were good. We were in a good spot in terms of email open rates. January and February, we were like, all right, we're cool, because even though the pandemic's starting to get a little bit better, the open rates are staying steady, and marketers were like, great, right? We're at 21 and 17 versus 17 and 14. That's a big lift for an average open rate. But then what's happened in the last few weeks? Garbage can. We're now at 19 and 16 and heading in the wrong direction. And it's purely because why? Right? Whether it's a good idea or not. Again, I don't care. Whatever, I don't care what my opinion is, or your opinion, whatever, whether it's a good idea or not, people are doing stuff, right? People are going to malls, people are eating, people are doing, and if they're doing stuff, what they're not doing is caring about your emails. Okay, so that means our job got harder. That means that this webinar became more relevant, and that means that I better have some good ideas on how you guys are going to increase your open rates. Okay, so that's the goal. How do we keep the open rates high? What can we do? Oh my God, this is slide. Holy cow. If this doesn't give you some level of anxiety, this slide, I don't know what to tell you. So this is the first one for B2B, and then I'm going to do one for B2C. And I got to tell you, when I put together these presentations, and I know I'm going to do these webinars, it's a very hard thing because not that you care, my life is hard, doesn't matter, but I'm going to tell you the inside, what's in my brain. By the way, thank you everybody for signing up. I cannot believe we've had over 3,500 registrants for this webinar, which is unbelievable to me. That means people care about nonsense email marketing. But what makes it hard is that you have B2B marketers, B2C marketers. You have SMB guys, enterprise guys, right? You have some people in nonprofits, healthcare, government, whatever. Anyway, so I always go back and forth, B2B, B2C. So this slide first is B2B. These are the top performing offers for B2B marketers, okay? And what we've done here, we have tracked the offers. When the offer is mentioned in the subject line, we have tracked the average open rates for each of the top offers for B2B marketers from last January through right now, okay? And that's why this slide is such a disaster to look at. But let me give you an example of what it is that we're looking at. So this blue line here is if somebody is promoting a white paper or a report. White paper report, you see, before the pandemic hit, it was doing well. That was like one of the top performing things. Pandemic hit, and nobody cares about your white paper anymore because they're just trying to survive, right? And then over time, okay, fine, starts to go up. And then what do we see now? White paper, because life's starting to get back to normal a little bit, we're seeing white paper surge right back up, okay? Whereas webinar and event, it was heading downward before the pandemic hit. And then we all wanted to know, what do we do about COVID, right? And what do marketers, what's this industry doing about COVID? And it spiked up to the top performing offer because that's all we wanted to know is the latest information, webinars, whatnot about COVID. Then we see things like checklists and guides, right? Checklists and guides, this light blue line has been doing pretty well across the board. And it's now the top performing offer. Checklists and guides, right? Information that's really easy to digest. What is in the garbage can? What is an offer that's not doing well anymore at all? And that's infographics and ebooks. If you look at infographics and ebooks, the gray line, the orange line, they haven't been doing well, period, and they continue to be a boat anchor. So when we think about how do we keep our open rates high, don't think that you're going to beat the system. You're not going to beat the system. If your offer is not something that people are interested in right now, it ain't going to get responded to. So we say, how do we keep our open rates high? We focus on what people want. All right. So let's look at the consumer side of this game. Again, worst, ugliest slides in the history of mankind and womankind. But here we go. All right. So on the B2C side, these are the top 4 performing offers. Okay, so let's just walk through how that all looked. Free shipping always does phenomenally well, right? Free shipping. It's like almost like now you're a moron if you're paying for shipping, because that's the game. Every retailer, every e-commerce site, it's like, oh yeah, you get free shipping, right? Amazon did that. So free shipping, you look at the red line before the pandemic, it was like, okay, it's doing good. But then what happened? Nobody's going to a store, right? So it's going to get shipped to you, right? And everyone's stores are closing, so they're desperately trying to get your business. So free shipping is the offer. And that has maintained. And if you look here, even though it's dropped down a lot, it's still the top performing offer, right? Now, the orange line is discount, okay? It's discount. And again, what are we in right now? And you see the orange line, it continues to go up. Why is it that other top performing offer tied with free shipping? We are in a bad economy. I don't care what happens with the stock market. That's not Main Street, okay? So discount is doing incredibly well. Coupons are doing horrible, right? They're starting to do a little bit better, but they're doing horrible. No, you're printing out a coupon and going anywhere. So they're doing a little bit better. And then the last one that no longer is doing well is in stock or available. At the height of the pandemic, when we were having all these, production delays and all this stuff, in stock and available was the winner. So now if I'm a B2C marketer, I am focused on free shipping and discount. That's it. That's my focus. Those are my offers. So we talk about how do we keep our open rates high. We don't just send out offers because it's the offer we have. We send out offers because it's what is working. Okay, so now let's play a game. Let's play Never Have I Ever, right? I have 2 teenage kids. I'm not going to lie and say we play games. I have tried, okay? So they're 13 and 15. So I'm like, hey, you want to play a game? And they look at me like, you're a doofus. No, I do not want to play a game with you. But if we did play a game, maybe we'd play Never Have I Ever. No, I wouldn't. That's weird to play that with your kids. Who cares? Anyway, let's play the email marketing edition. Okay. I like to tell people, they always say, well, where should I get the data on this? And I'm trying to find stats for something on this, but the stats I found was from 3 years ago. I need stats. I need stats. So I can go into a meeting and say, I have the stats. Who cares about the stats? You are your own best focus group, okay? So when I say never have I ever, the email marketing edition, never have I ever downloaded, this is all about the last 12 months. Have I downloaded an ebook in the last 12 months? No, ebooks are boring. That's why they don't do well. Have I downloaded an infographic? Nobody does that anymore. Okay, if your offer is an infographic, that's weird. It's like having an AOL address. Okay, people don't download infographics. Maybe you make one and it's on your site and people can see it, but nobody's downloading an infographic. You don't even know what to do with it when you do download it. Like, what do I do with this thing? It's so weird, right? So you can't roll with that offer. Do you print out an email coupon? Have you ever actually done that? Have you done that in the last 12 months? No. And then lastly, are you paying full price for anything? No. If you are dumb, okay? So why am I telling you this? Because you cannot go out with an offer that stinks. It's not going to work. Conversion rates for these offers specifically, the last 3 months are down anywhere from 18 to 28% conversion rates. Why? Because nobody likes them, okay? So again, focusing on the offer, focusing on what works, that's how we're gonna win the day. Hooray, win the day. So I get this a lot, and there's a lot of soapboxing going on today, meaning that I'm going to say, I'm like, this entire session really is not about you guys getting anything really cool ideas. It's about me being able to vent about things, right? This is my own personal psychiatric session. I get this a lot with my clients and different people. They come to me and they say, listen, we tried this offer on search and social. Didn't work. The CPA, the cost per acquisition, was really high, but we think it's going to work really well in email. We want to do this. We have budget to do this. And I'm like, that's the dumbest thing I ever heard. Email is not the magic bean, okay? Email is not this place where all problems get solved. And the reason I tell you this is that if you have an offer, okay, and you've been pumping it out in social and search and it's not working, but you think you do it in email, it's going to work better. It's not true. These are all direct response channels. Yeah, some will be a little better than the other one, tweak this, tweak that. But if your offer stinks, then your offer stinks. And there is no savior channel. That's not how it works. Okay. But maybe it's not that your offer completely stinks, but that you're saying it wrong, right? You might just be saying it wrong. And let me tell you what I mean by that. So different parts of the country, we say different things, right? Some of the parts of the country say soda. I say soda. Some say pop, right? And depending on how you say it, you get a reaction, right? Like if I said to my kids, let's say I used all these examples here in a sentence. Like if I said to my kids, hey, because I live in South Florida, I'm on the East Coast. Hey, go get your tennis shoes. We're going to go get flapjacks. And then you could have a sucker and also a pop. They would be like, what are you talking about? I don't even know what language you're talking, right? So words matter. And so it's semantics. Semantics, it's a thing, okay? Now, why does that do with email marketing? Semantics and how we're saying things is actually having a radical impact on performance. So whether you're calling something a report or a white paper, whether you're saying a certain percent off or up to a percent off, if something is in stock versus available, if you're promoting a webinar, you say reserve your spot or register. Believe it or not, these things have a huge impact when you're actually saying the same thing. You're actually saying the same thing. So when you mention in your subject line, and this is all data from now, this is data from not like a year ago, this is data from right now. So when you are promoting, let's say you're like, okay, we got this white paper. I don't care who you are, unless you're a giant nerd, right? If you say to somebody, hey, do you want to check out this white paper? That sounds boring, really boring. Or you say, hey, we just published this new report. You want to check it out? Like, oh, that sounds interesting, right? That's why open rates are up 17% when you say report versus white paper. Percent off versus up to percent off. It's like, oh, I'm getting 30% off. Boom, I'm checking that out. In stock versus available. In stock is cool. Available is like for everyone. Reserve your spot versus register. Awesome, right? These things are what drive results. Here's an example. I got this email. Last 30 days, the word report generated a 27% higher click-through rate versus the same offer, but calling it a white paper. Now, somebody out there in webinar land is like, you can't do that. You cannot call a report and a white paper the same thing. You will go to some version of weird marketing jail. That's not true. Nobody cares. Nobody cares about anything. That's the reality. I got this email from Acton. Here's the email I got on the left. I open it up, pivot your marketing budget, something about the pandemic. On the bottom, what does it say? It says, get the guide. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna check it out. I click, I go to the landing page. This is the thing. They're now calling it an ebook. 1 second later, it goes from a guide to an ebook. You know why? Nobody cares. There are no rules. It's all about what works. So if you want to call a report, a white paper report, because it's going to get a better response rate, you do that. You do that. Okay. Don't live in these boundaries that don't exist. All right. So more little things that matter. And you're probably like, this guy Jay is Looney Tunes, and that may be true. That in fact may be true. Little things really do matter. So everything matters. Everything matters. So go to your destination page, a landing page, whatever you want to call it. You click on an email, you go somewhere. Hooray, you went somewhere. Go to Netflix. Oh, you want to sign up for Netflix? What's the name of the button you click? It says Get Started. Oh, you want to sign up for Salesforce? Salesforce? It says Discover Salesforce. Why doesn't it just say Submit? Everything else says Submit. Just click on it. It should say Submit, right? That's what it is. Here's the most ridiculous stats you're going to see in any email marketing webinar. This is the percentage of increased click rate or submission rate, okay? When you have on your destination page or your landing page, when you have certain words versus the word submit. I hate the word submit. I'm on a personal campaign to get rid of the word submit because it's really, really weird, right? It's like submit. Like, in what other world? I mean, it's just weird, right? It's just weird. So when we, for example, if you have, let's say it's a webinar, an event, and you have an A/B split on your destination page, And it can either say reserve your spot or submit. You send half traffic one way, half traffic the other. You will get about a 28% lift in click rate, submission rate, by having it say reserve your spot versus submit, right? If your landing page is something you're trying to get them going, if you write get started instead of submit, over a 20% increase in your submission rate. So when you say, this is ridiculous, this doesn't matter, it's one button, it's one word, it couldn't be more important. It couldn't be more important. And everything I talk about is testing. It's all about testing, right? It's because just because I have it on a slide here doesn't mean it's going to work. That's not the way it goes. Okay, but you test it and you're like, oh my God, I got a lift. Awesome. I'll do it again. I'll try it again. Or it didn't work. Okay, I'll try something different. You need to keep testing. That is the name of the game. So you put click here versus submit, 20% lift. Go. Start you're in. Isn't that more exciting than submit? I mean, come on. Isn't that more exciting than submit? Submit stinks, right? So it's a matter of testing that button. Here are some landing pages. HelloFresh. I go to their site. Get started. Hooray. Slack. Let's get started. Do you think that these companies that are spending $1 zillion on marketing are just like, what should we put on the landing page? Let's put get started. No, this is because they have tested this thing like crazy people trying to find the exact right phrase, the exact right word. Okay. So here are a bunch of different B2B and B2C landing pages. This is an interesting stat. When the destination page submission button describes the offer, click-through rates rise by 22%. So let me read to you what each of these landing pages says. They say, start free trial, get my free demo, get 3 free quotes now, or 3 quotes now, get custom pricing. The offer is the button, or the button is the offer, right? People are like, oh yeah, that's what I wanted. That's why I came here. I'm going to click it. So being creative with that button matters. Another thing about these destination pages, they all have something in common, all of them. And the best ones, the best landing pages, destination pages, all have one thing in common. None of them have a navigation bar. The navigation bar, having a standard site navigation bar on your destination page is among one of the worst things that you could do as a marketer. Why? You have an offer. You have an offer. B2B, B2C, you have an offer. You are trying to get that offer sold. Doesn't matter what it is. You send out an email, they click on it, hooray, they clicked. They go to your landing page, your destination page. And when they get there, you have all these other buttons, all these other navigation bar buttons. And what happens? Like, oh, the person gets it, oh, let me see, and they click, right? We all rubberneck. That's why traffic exists. If it wasn't for rubbernecking, we'd never have traffic. Okay, we all rubberneck, and we rubberneck on the destination page, and we wind up clicking something else, and then we never go back, and we never respond. Destination pages that have standard site navigation bars have a 37% lower overall response rate. You are the reason that your response rate is low. Get rid of the navigation bar. Wow, now this is a slide right here. This thing will give you stress. All right. This is a slide with a bunch of words related to email marketing. I'm saying this because I keep talking about words, I keep talking about little things, buttons on the landing page, and what offer you're naming something, and all this different type of stuff. You could lose your mind. You could literally lose your. There's so much. I love it when you're talking to somebody. Oh yeah, I got to get an email campaign. Oh, just press send. It's not that big of a deal. What's a big deal? Just can't you just like CC everybody and just send it out? Right. So email's complicated. Doing it right is next to impossible, and that's okay. That's okay. In general, as an email marketer, we overthink everything, and that's why we can never get tests out the door. You know, that's what happened. I'll tell you a story. Not that you asked. So I've been married for 18 years, and the night before I got married, me and my fiance at the time, we were in different rooms. I was with my guy friends, and she was with her girlfriends, and I went to sleep. I was like, I'm going to sleep. I'm getting married tomorrow. I'm going to sleep. And in the middle of the night, 2 or 3 in the morning, whatever, my fiance shows up, and I was sleeping, and she wakes up. She goes, Jay, get up, get up, get up. What's up? What's up? And she goes, I'm really nervous. I don't know. I don't know. I'm really nervous. And this is true. And I turned to her and I said, let's not make this a bigger deal than it is. And I went back to sleep. Not the most romantic thing I ever did in my life, but true. And 18 years later, here I am, right? That is email marketing. You cannot make this a bigger deal than it is. So let me tell you what I mean by that. You're like, what should I test? Oh my God, a million ideas. I want to test something. I got to test something. I got to get stuff to work. Okay. So use yourself. I always do this with myself every week. And I go, what did I open and click on this week in my inbox? I do this. And this is your, I don't want to call it homework because that sounds weird, but you should do this. When you go through your emails and you find yourself that you opened and clicked on something, on anything, take a second, take a step back and say, why did I open it? What was the thing that got me to open it? And you say, okay, that's why I opened it. Cool. That's my new test for next week. I'll give you an example. I have no data on any of these test ideas, none. But I got these, and now I'm going to run tests because I like these ideas that I saw. They got me to open the email. So now I want to run a test, right? So this first one, I got an email from HubSpot, love HubSpot. And I saw they put Q2, okay, in the subject line. I'm like, oh, that's a good idea because people want to talk about Q2. Done. I got this email from Best Buy. I haven't seen this before. I see emojis all the time, but an emoji to start and end the subject line, almost like it's like a bookshelf thing. Cool, I want to test that, right? Or in Angie's List, look what they did in the pre-header. This is the pre-header, 400 check marks. Maybe it's over the top, I don't know, but it got me to open it. So think about yourself and say, okay, got me to open it, I'm testing it. It's a good way to think about what you want to test first. So people tell me that they are happy that I don't talk about marketing automation a lot. But unfortunately, I want to spend a minute or two talking about marketing automation programs because a lot of us that are dialed in here use marketing automation tools. When I talk about marketing automation, okay, what am I talking about, right? You may use Marketo or Pardot or who else? HubSpot or 75 other different marketing automation platforms, and they're all really interesting. And for those of us who don't use a marketing automation platform, B2B or B2C, essentially what it is, it allows you to have your emails campaigns that are going out be a reaction to what the people in your database are doing. So if somebody goes to your website, they get a certain amount of points in your marketing automation platform. They get a score. If you send them an email and they open the email, they get some more points and their score goes up. If they attend a webinar, they sign up for a webinar, again, they earn more points, their score goes up. And as their score goes up, they get certain emails. If they don't open stuff and they don't attend stuff, they get other emails, right? And it's an automated way to have your marketing go out. And a lot of people do it and it does really well, but there's some massive pitfalls. And I just want to just talk through briefly one or two of them. On the B2B side, I can't stress enough this concept. And this is going to come out as rude in some capacity. As it relates to marketing automation, who they are is more important than what they do. This has always needs to be your theme when you're thinking about your marketing automation program on the B2B side. Who they are is more important than what they do. If somebody is going in and clicking and on all your emails and they're signing up for every webinar and they're opening up every email and they are liking every social media post and they're ratcheting up their score in your automation platform, but they're not in the right target audience, who cares? Who cares if they're your biggest fan? It's totally and completely irrelevant. There are two buckets of how you score somebody as it relates to marketing automation, and this is the way you always have to think about it. Okay, there's two buckets. There's demographic and firmographic, and then there's behavioral, and this applies to consumer as well. And I'm going to explain in a second. Okay, so as it relates to B2B, the demographic and firmographic would be job title, industry, company size, vertical. That's demographic, firmographic. Behavioral is everything, how they're interacting with all the stuff. They go to your website, they're opening your email, they're going to do social content, whatever. And on the consumer side, your demographic and firmographic, maybe your audience, maybe your product and service is only good for affluent people. Maybe you're only going after seniors. Maybe it's in certain geographies, right? Maybe it's for people in a life stage, like they're having a kid or something like that. It is critical. The number one most important thing is that when you are creating your grading, when you are doing your scoring setup for your marketing automation program, you need to exponentially outweigh, you need to add so much more weight, right, to the demographic and firmographic piece as compared to what the person does. If you are targeting, for example, this, vice president of IT, okay, in the retail industry, okay, and that guy clicks on one email from you, that is way more important than if some random dude who happens to be maybe in the same industry, whatever, clicks on 35 emails from you and 10 7 webinars. Who cares that that guy digests all your content? He's not going to be able to buy the product. How you upset your sales team and how they tell you your MQLs, your marketing qualified leads, and your sales qualified leads are garbage is when your weighting system is too heavily focused on behavioral as opposed to the target audience. Okay, so that's my soapbox for today. I'm talking like a 5-to-1 ratio in terms of your scoring and grading. All right, anyway, moving on from that. On the B2C side, there is one piece that really drives me bananas, and that is the abandoned cart. Okay, you go somewhere, you put stuff in the cart, you get a phone call, hello, what's going on? And then you forget it's in the cart, you leave the site. You go to your inbox, 10 minutes later, you get the abandoned cart email. We, as B2C marketers, we got to calm down. We have got to chillax, we have got to relax, and we've got to stop, okay? I went to Shutterfly. I was making, I think it was a photo book. I don't even remember it. I am in charge of the photo books of my family, and I am a good photo booker. I don't know if that's a word, but I am. 12 minutes after I left the site, I got this thing saying, hey, your cart's on sale. That's not cool. Abandoned cart emails do really well as an automation, as a trigger. They do really, really well, but they have to wait at least 12 hours. So over 12 hours, cart trigger emails have a 28% higher overall open rate than those that are sent within the first 12 hours. Why? The first 12 hours is weird. Like, I just left there, bro. It's like, it's almost like, you go on a date with somebody and then like an hour later, you're like, can we go on another date? It's like too soon. You got to like wait a little while. Same vibe. I got this from Target. It's also a little creepy when you just do stuff like this. I was on the site and the subject line says, something you had your eye on has a new low price. That's weird, right? It's like, hey, I get it that I was on the site, but that's weird. And then you open it up still thinking about it. Not anymore. Totally sketchy. Anyway, so you don't have a marketing automation program. You feel left out. Don't worry. Only less than 30% of marketers actually have a fancy marketing automation program. So let's give you the opportunity to do something really simple. Here is the old school version of marketing automation. And this is basically what every marketer should be doing anyway. It's really simple. And then we'll get into a million more tips and tricks. So you have an email offer. I don't care if you're selling sweaters or if you are pushing a white paper, it doesn't matter what it is. You got your email offer, right? You're sending out to 100,000 people. Great. One of two things happens when you send out an email. Either people open it or they don't open it. Oh, goody. 25%, 25,000 of the 100,000 opened the original email. Hooray. So they go over here in the green bucket. 75% didn't open that email. They go in the gray bucket. Then you do another email. You send a second email, but the emails are a little bit different. The one in the gray bucket has a more aggressive subject line. It says, hey, dude, you missed out. Okay. And you send that out. And then you get them to land in the happy place, right? The last chance bucket, if they open it up, but they didn't click. But over here, these people that opened up and didn't click, they get the same last chance. And then down here, wow, is this a confusing slide to articulate? And I could not have done it worse. Down here is this last gray box of people that have never opened it, and you get an aggressive last chance. Oh my God, if you understood anything I just said, then you are very smart, because that was like impossible. I mean, you're better off trying to figure out how to get to Mars. Anyway, you probably understand it. Wow, is that a terrible 30 seconds for everybody? Here's the moral of this very confusing story. Multi-touch, sending out more than one email, using opener flags versus non-opener flags, right? Open flag, non-opener flag. When you do a multi-touch, send out more than one email promoting an offer, it increases response rates between 85 to 115%. And basically, you're The people that are not opening it, you're pushing them really hard to open it. The people that did open it, you're building off the fact that you know that they opened it, but they didn't respond. Holy cow, I'm never going to present that again. All right, I want to talk about something, and for those of you who have attended some of my webinars in the past, this may sound like a broken record, but I got to get through 3 minutes of a topic, and then I'll get to something new because this matters, and on the other side of it is why it all really matters. And that is my ultimate soapbox, my number one pet peeve, that we're not sending out enough email. We're not sending out enough email. It is true. I'm going to tell you here that you need to be sending out significantly more email to your database and to prospects than you currently are. Fact, period, end of story. Okay? This chart here, first I'll show B2B, then I'll show B2C. On the bottom is the number of emails being sent in a month's period. This is data from the last 90 days. Number of emails being sent, okay, in a month period. So if you look here, and then over here is the open rate based on number of sends. So here, if you only send 1 email a month, your average open rate for those emails can be 14%. If you sent 6 emails a month, your average open rate would be 20%. It peaks at around 15 to 16 emails a month, right? So you're basically, the goal is to send about 3.5 emails per week, and that's how you're gonna get the highest open rate across the board. You're like, what? Send 3.5 emails a week? And on the consumer side, same slide, it peaks at 4 times per week. Wait a minute. I send maybe 1 email a week, maybe 2. You're telling me to send 4? And that's how many. Why would, if I send more email, am I going to get a better open rate? That makes no sense. That's counterintuitive. I'm annoying people. They're going to unsubscribe. They're going to hate me. No, they may unsubscribe. They may hate you, but that's not why. And I'll get to that in a second. Okay. The name of the game, first of all, it's not hard to send 4 emails. Let's say you have a newsletter, you send out weekly. Done. That's 1 email. Now you got 3 left. Let's say you have an offer that you're promoting that week. Usually you have more than 1 offer in a week. So you have 1 offer in a week. You're not going to send at least 2 emails promoting that offer. So if you send 2 emails promoting an offer and you have a weekly newsletter, that's 3. So basically I'm telling you to send at least 1 more email a week. That's not that much. Now I'm going to prove to you why this works and what it all means. Now, the name of the game, why we send out more email, is not just to get your stuff sold, okay, or downloaded or attended. That's not why we send out all the email. The way that you stay in the inbox, right, the way that you don't go to the junk folder, believe it or not, is based on engagement, right? The way you wind up going in that inbox is based on the fact if your emails that you're sending out ever get opened or ever get clicked, whether by that individual or by other people in their company or other people at Gmail. Gmail looks at your IP address and your domain and said, oh, people are opening and clicking from this sender. Let's dump them all in the inbox, okay? So the more you send out, the more opens and clicks you are generating. Every time you send out an email, certain new people are clicking and opening. The more you send out, the more opens and clicks you're generating, the greater likelihood it is that the next email you send will get into the inbox for most everybody. Not everybody, but most everybody. Engagement is what makes email work, which is why marketers send out a lot. And I said I'm going to spend 2 or 3 minutes on this, and I promise I won't do more than that. Chip and Joanna Gaines, love them. Love every show. Love Discovery Plus. Here's my plug. Discovery Plus, I think it's $5 a month. It is awesome if you like horrible TV like I do. Every show on there, except the ones about ghosts. I don't really care about the ones about ghosts. It's a little weird. Other than that, I like every show on Discovery Plus. Chip and Joanna Gaines, go and you sign up for Magnolia, okay? That's their company, right? They have Fixer Upper. That's the Fixer Upper people. They send out an email every single day. Some are offers, some are guides, some are whatever. 30 emails a month. But wait a minute, they're not annoying. We like Chip and Joanna Gaines. They send out 30 emails a month. That's way more than 4 emails a week. They're sending out twice what I just said. ClickZ, they teach us how to do email marketing. They're one of the biggest publishers about marketing on the web. They sent me 5 emails in 1 day, but they like to publish articles that say you shouldn't send out a lot of email. But they sent me 5 emails on 1 day. I wonder why. Look at this, Fanatics. I like buying sports clothing. They sent me 64 emails in February. That's a lot of emails. Do they have somebody that's drunk that is running their ESP? No, they don't. What do they know? Adobe. Love Adobe. They sent me 2 emails in 1 minute. Let's not go that far. That's extreme. But the moral to this very, very boring story, now we'll get into the new stuff, is sending out more email works. Sending out more email is good. I feel like I'm Gordon Gekko, right? Greed is good. No, emails are good. Send out more. Now I'm going to get to some math that is going to allow you to win the day so you can send out as much email as you want. Hooray! Last week, it was my birthday. Who cares? I really don't care. I'm not a birthday guy. Don't care. But you have to do that thing on your birthday where at some point in the day you go on Facebook, even though I haven't posted something on Facebook in a couple of years, you go and you see, did anybody wish you a happy birthday? Because we all have some weird ego. So go on Facebook and see all these people wish me happy birthday, whatever. And invariably, I say to myself the following. This is true. This is what was in my head. I see people, I see this one guy, I'm like, I totally forgot I was even friends with that guy. Never liked this dude. Didn't like him in high school, didn't like him after. I didn't like him. I'm like, I gotta unfriend that guy like now. Guy stinks, don't like him, whatever. And then this was kind of a light bulb moment with me with unsubscribes. Why am I telling you about my birthday and about Facebook and all this stuff? This is really important. The slide's ugly, but this is really important, okay? Why is this important? We went back and we looked at some crazy data and we realized, and what happened was people would say to me, every time I do these webinars, people tell me that they run these tests based on what I say, and that's very nice. And they'll tell me, oh my God, it did great. Or they'll say, oh, it didn't work at all. Or this is one I get a lot. And this is what led us to really checking this data. We ran a test. We tested, emojis in the subject line because you said emojis work, right? We had an increased open rate, but we also had a higher unsubscribe rate. So my management team, the marketing exec said, no, 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 no. Our unsubscribe rate went up. Must be bad. Don't do that again, even though you had a higher open rate. But this is the data that you can now use to tell them to do something with, right? Here's the stat. Let me read you the stat. B2B and B2C. Over 90%. You got 91% for B2C and 94% for B2B. Over 91% of unsubscribe requests when new subject line tactics are tested are from contacts who have not opened an email from that sender in over 12 months. Boom. What does that mean in English? This is what it means. Let me give you the math example, then I'll explain it in English. So you're going to do a test, okay? You're sending out a test where maybe you're going to put, you're going to capitalize a word in the subject line, do an A/B test, whatever. You send out 100,000 emails, okay? And the great news is your open rate goes up because this new subject line test you did, it went from 20% to 23%. You got 3,000 additional opens. Awesome. Uh-oh, your unsubscribe went up, went from 0.07 to 0.09. You got 20 additional unsubscribes. Oh my God, that's terrible news. People hate us, and the unsubscribes were really bad. They were like, you should die because you sent me this email. They're nasty grams, right? But when you dig into the data, which is what this stats shows, 90%, because you saw it's above, were non-engaged. So people that haven't opened up an email in over 12 months that you've sent them, they have not opened up one of your emails in over a year. 90% of those 20 that unsubscribed, which means that only 2 were people that were engaged with your information. So is the test a failure if you got 3,000 people to open up your email, but 18 people have not cared about your emails and over a year removed themselves? I say no way. So what's really happening? And this is what we have to say internally. When you are setting up aggressive tests, we are going to test this thing in the subject line. We're going to do this awesome test. What is going to happen? People that you are wallpaper to right now that have been completely not seeing your emails, you're just tuned you out. All of a sudden, people are like, wait a minute, I totally forgot I was subscribed to this. I totally forgot I was getting emails from that sender. And they're gonna be like, oh, I hate that sender. I hate that company. I'm unsubscribing. But the reason they're unsubscribing is because they're actually noticing you. Your test is working. It's very similar to my Facebook friends. I forgot I was friends with all these horrible people. So I'm unsubscribing them. I am removing them from my life because I forgot about them and they raised my awareness. I am telling you this because you're going to run tests. you're going to see higher unsubscribes. And that's not bad. That means people are paying attention to you finally. Finally. Okay? So along those same lines, I know I'm on a rant. Can you believe I just sit here in my office like I am like talking to myself right now like a lunatic? That's all right. In general, and then I'll wrap up the whole idea of sending more. Would you rather, and it depends on who you are, how you feel, would you rather have a 22% open rate on 5 emails or a 25% open rate on 2 emails? I like the 5 email 22% because I'm going to get way more unique people opening across the 5 emails. And I'm going to get my offers sold or downloaded or registered or whatever. So we beat that to the ground. All right. Some quick tips here. This is interesting. This is for email newsletters. Putting an emoji as the first character in your daily, weekly, monthly newsletter does really well. B2B lifts open rates by 17%, B2C 19%. When you have an emoji as the first character of your daily, weekly, or monthly newsletter. Great test, makes it stand out. People remember, oh yeah, that's the search engine land thing that I like to get. It also allows you to have a level of consistency and still change the subject line, right? Which is nice, which is nice. These are words in the last 60 days that are trending, that are words that if you put in your subject line, you will see possibly an increased lift. These are the words right now that are working really well. B2B and B2C, a lot of them have to do with the fact that the pandemic is not, it's very far from over. Totally not over. Wear your mask. Here it is. Everybody wear a mask. I got my sanitizer. Let's go. I got vaccinated. All right. Anyway, it's not over, but these are the words they're doing well. Why? We want to be invited to things. Oh my God, you're having a party? Oh, I can go. Hurry. Right? You want to be invited to things. I'm ready. You're ready. That's why these words work. If you don't think one word makes a difference, you're completely wrong. You are completely wrong. Right? Everything matters. These words are matters. All about testing it. Okay? It's all about testing, utilizing the stuff that's working right now. I promise you, when I do this next webinar, let's say I do one end of May, totally different set of information because the world keeps changing. This is kind of interesting news stat, right? This is an email I got from Old Navy, and this one I got from search engine something or another. I forgot what it is, some sort of B2B thing. And if you see here, Old Navy, our best-selling women's everyday short, and it cuts off. This is not about how long the subject lines are. I don't care about that routine. And over here, how to prioritize your SEO initiatives for grab up, cuts off. And you can see, what do? Their offer for Old Navy, it's up to 60% off. And over here, it's a webinar. You must, I don't care how long your subject lines are, but your offer information has to be in the first half. The first 50% of whatever you're writing, the offer information has to be in the first half in your subject line. When the offer is mentioned in the first 50% of the subject line, it has a 37% higher open rate than if it's mentioned in the second half. A, it could get cut off. B, no one cares about what you're writing, okay, and they stop reading. It has to be in that first half. Great test. If you haven't tested this, animated GIFs do phenomenally well. B2B and B2C, you're promoting a webinar. Oh my God, countdown clock. You're promoting a flash sale. Oh my God, countdown clock. Countdown clocks, animated GIFs across the board increase click-through rates. These do really, really well. If you've never tested an expiring animated clock, do so. 22% higher click rate than those without. Something else that's interesting, when you are promoting third-party content, a Gartner report, IDC report, maybe your own report, or it can't be your own if it's third-party, put it in the subject line, okay? Mention it's actually that report in the subject line when using third-party information. Why? It makes it seem more real. It's not just promoting you, it's showing that they're going to get something. Increases open rate by 34% when you actually mention the industry report. Oh my God. I wonder, this has nothing to do with email marketing really. So I'm seeing more and more of these, right? I'm seeing more and more of these everywhere on the web. I promote it everywhere where marketing programs being tied to vaccinations, right? A lot of us saw the other day when Krispy Kreme said, bring your vaccination card, you get a free donut. I just wonder, is this going to flood into our inboxes soon? Yesterday there was Samuel Adams said, If you get a vaccination, you get a beer, free beer. These guys down here said if you get vaccinated and you show proof, you get, I don't even know. I don't know a lot about marijuana. You get whatever this is related to marijuana. I posted this on LinkedIn the other day about the Krispy Kreme donut because I thought it was interesting. I got so many direct messages. People are like, how dare you? You're putting out information that is wrong. People are going to get an unhealthy donut for getting the vaccine. That's wrong. How could you promote unhealthiness? I'm like, dude, it's a donut. Like, relax. Everyone's got to relax. Anyway, I just can't wait to see this all show up in our inbox. It's going to be so crazy. All right, don't disappear yet. Session's almost over, but it's not over yet. So a lot of you out there may have my email marketing calendar. We keep updating the calendar. The email marketing calendar, there's B2B and there's B2C. It's digital. Green days are days you should send out an email. Red days are days that might not be good. Based on all of our data, we analyze it. We keep updating it. What are the best days to send out emails, right? Some days are good, some days are bad. It's not just about holidays. It could be anything that moves it. And their data is always changing. If you'd like a copy of this calendar, you can email me at jays@corpwd.com. That is my email address. I will send this to you. I will email this to you. If you would like a copy of the slides, you can email me. Okay? You can email me. The calendar is cool, I promise. Now, I started something new called Jay's Inside Scoop. It's not anything spammy. Every week or two, I write this text blob about any new stats, trends, things that I'm seeing. It's pretty cool. It basically is sort of like the idea of today, just really quick, a couple bullets. If you'd like to be a part of the scoop, when you email me, say add me to the scoop, or you can go to jschwedelson.com if you're able to spell my last name, which would be phenomenal. I always knew my daughter was going to be brilliant one day because like she could spell her name when she was like 1.5 or 2. I was like, wow, I could barely spell it. Anyway, if you want to check us out, please hit me up on LinkedIn. Please, please, please. I want to connect with everybody. All right. We put out all of our stats on Instagram and Twitter at World Data. That is with 1 D, not 2, because we can't spell. At World Data with 1 D. If you want to follow us on Instagram and Twitter, we put out all sorts of videos and content. I really encourage you guys. We just really started pumping up our Instagram, so that's cool. Subjectline.com. Some of you may use this site. It's completely free. It's a division of my company. You go there, you can check your subject line. You can see how good or bad it's going to do. We've checked over 10 million subject lines, which is pretty cool. And that's it. We did it. Can you believe it? With 5 minutes to spare. So if you like the slides, you like the calendar, you like the scoop, you want to ask me any questions. What TV shows am I watching? I just tried a new reality show called Marriage or Mortgage. One of the worst shows I've ever seen, where you decide, should I get married and spend the money on that, or should I buy a house and get a mortgage? And it's terrible. It's like Love It or List It, just gone in the wrong direction. You could ask me what shows I like. I'll ask you what shows you like. This has gone completely off the rails. Anyway, thank you so much. I'll be doing more webinars. Stay on the lookout for them. I hope you enjoyed today. And with that, we did it. The session is over. Feel free to email me any questions, concerns, or thoughts that you have. Thank you so much for being here.